Hi, my name is Mike, and recently I had someone ask me about speccing out a new computer they needed. So in this video, we're going to be looking at some of the options for customizing a PC on Dell's website. We're going to be looking at 4 different types of systems: the Vostro, OptiPlex, Latitude, and Precision, which are all of their business models. And we're going to be going over some hardware customization options available for each system. Now, I'm old enough to remember when Computer Shopper magazine was a thing, and it came out 1,000 pages long every month. You'd do all your buying from a magazine. These days, that's all pretty much done through a website. Right now is October of 2021, and it is a really tough time to buy a new computer given the worldwide chip shortage and supply chain issues. But as you'll see, Dell still has many models available. First, I'm going to start with the Vostro, which I have open on this tab in my browser. You can see down the left-hand side of the page are some product selection tools, and just gives you some different options for configuring your specific system. And these are different for each system, so I'm going to go over some of these different options. So for product, we're looking at the Vostro. Shipping, we have ready to ship, ships within 5 days, ships within 10 days. It's just basically saying, hey, how soon do you need this thing? Processor, you've got an option of an i7, i5, or an i3. Obviously, the higher the number, the more powerful the processor. i3 is a very basic, sort of a low-end processor. I wouldn't recommend it for most people unless you're just looking for like a cheap thing to get grandma. Maybe for the kids to bang on. The i5 is your standard business processor, able to do most tasks. i7, obviously, a step up from that, as you're more powerful. If you're doing graphic design, video editing, that sort of stuff, any more complex computing tasks, you're going to want an i7. Above that would be the i9, which is an even faster series of processor, and that's really for like your high-end graphic design, video editing, gaming, especially i7 or i9 if you're doing a lot of first-person shooters, any type of gaming really. Processor generation with the Vostro, you've only got one option here, is the 10th generation Intel Core processor. The 10th generation came out in 2019 through 2020. Going backward, the 8th generation was 27 to 2018. The 9th generation was 2018 to 2019. And now the current 11th generation is coming out now in 2021. So pretty much in general, you want to steer clear of anything much older than 8th generation, which would be a computer that came out in 2017. So if you want to take advantage of newer programs like Windows 11, you generally need that 8th generation processor and newer. So the Vostro's got a 10th gen processor, perfect. It'll, should meet all your computing needs for the next, 4 to 5 years-ish, depending on, how fast your needs grow. Memory, we've got 2 options, 16 gigabytes, 8 gigabytes. 8 gigabytes is really the bare minimum in 2021, and I wouldn't recommend anything lower than that, especially once you start, you have a dozen tabs open in Chrome and your Excel spreadsheet and your word processor. It's really going to start to impact the performance if you don't have, anything less than, 8 gigabytes. And really, I would recommend 16 as a minimum for any computer you plan on using for the next couple of years. We've got some storage options, 1 terabyte, 512 gigabytes, and 256 gigabytes. 256 is a really small amount by 2021 standards. Unless everything you do is on the web, you're probably going to want more, especially if you're like saving a lot of pictures onto your computer, you're going to want more storage. So they've got some drive options. Dual drive just means it comes with two drives. SSD is a solid state drive. HDD is a standard computer hard disk drive, which is the rotating platters, the old-fashioned what you picture as a hard drive. I would always look for an SSD. Don't buy an HDD in 2021. Graphics options, NVIDIA or Intel. Again, if you're doing more game playing type tasks, or you want to hook up multiple monitors, you might want to get the upgraded graphics. Windows 10 Pro, it's perfect, the standard business operating system. Avoid Windows 10 Home unless you're strictly a home user. Pro gives you more control about rolling out updates and configuring your machine. And then the last option we have here, you can sort by price. Sort by features if you need a CD DVD burner. Pro support included. We'll get more into that later. There's only 3 models available of the Vostro system. Going back up to the top, you'll see that there was only 13 total. So let's say we wanted to build a Vostro. Let's say we want one with the maximum amount of memory, 16 gigabytes. That's only going to limit us. That's going to narrow it down immediately to only a single system. So with the 16 gigabyte option, and I thought this was kind of interesting. I looked at this a minute ago. It's 1 times 16 gigabytes. That means it's 1 stick of memory. This Vostro 5890 actually has 2 slots on the motherboard and supports up to 64 gigabytes of memory. So if you bought this particular model with the 1 times 16 gigabyte stick, you could add a second 16 gigabyte stick. You could even replace those with 2 32 gigabyte sticks up to a maximum of 64, should you need more memory in the future for more complex tasks. Let's clear the 16 gigabyte filter. And that takes us back to the full list of products. Let's say we needed something right away. So we're going to get something ready to ship. And that narrows us down to these models. You can kind of tell from the picture the size of the case, the small desktop, compact desktop. I know it's kind of hard to understand there. Just kind of looking at the pictures, you can tell the physical size of the machine. Let's say we want something with the solid state drive and an i7 processor. So pretty much what I'm doing is just narrowing down my choices here to get the system that meets my specific needs. So that narrows us down to these 2 Vostros, the 3681 or the 3888. You can see this is physically the little bit smaller machine, so it's going to have fewer expansion options, fewer slots. For the same price, unless you got a really small desk, I can't really think of a reason to get the smaller machine. So let's go with this one right here, customize and buy. This is going to bring us to another page where we're able to review those specs. We can look at our Microsoft 365 application choices here. And if you want, Office 365, that's going to be your Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook. You have 2 different options on how to buy that software. You either buy it as an annual subscription, which they're calling Microsoft 365 now, or you can buy a perpetual license, which is just a one-time fee that lasts for the lifetime of that particular product. With Office, that's generally 7 to 10 years of support that product receives. So, and obviously you don't have to pick either one. You can get these on other sites like Amazon, Newegg, Best Buy. Just make sure that if you are buying one online, that you purchase from a reputable reseller. There's a lot of places online that will sell counterfeit Office software licenses. So let's say we don't want Microsoft 365 where you pay forever. Let's just go down here through McAfee Small Business Security. I would uninstall McAfee, get some real security software on there. And then they give you some options for some accessories if you want them. Cameras, monitors, cables, keyboards, mice, etc., etc. What I think is interesting here is that they have an additional stick of memory available as an option that you can add on right now. So if we wanted to add that and bring us from 8 to 16, let's add that in the price. Monitor options, keyboard options. I think they make a lot of money off of these accessories, so they kind of push it a lot. You've got some warranty options here. I usually recommend a 3-year pro support warranty. That's the next business day on-site service. So if your machine were to break, they would send a technician out within 24 hours that would bring the repair parts. Let's see, then they have Pro Support Plus, Basic Service, and you can read about all of these options. Accidental damage, I hope you don't accidentally damage it. PC as a service, not really something that your average consumer needs. Keep your hard drive, again, not really something that most people need. Regulatory requirements, and then they just go down here and it talks about the specs of your system a little bit. We're just going to keep scrolling down. I just wanted you to see this image right here, which shows the front and back of the machine. You can see the expansion slots and the ports on the machine. Just something to think about, as far as monitor connections. This one has a HDMI and VGA. Pretty rare, not too much uses VGA anymore. HDMI is pretty common. I would personally look for something with DisplayPort. but that would be something that if you bought the system, maybe you could add on through another video card that adds some additional monitor connectivity. If you were using dual, triple monitors, that sort of thing. One thing with the Dell systems is that they frequently don't have additional power connectors for add-on cards, so you want to buy a video card that doesn't require an additional power connector, unless you're getting a very high-spec Dell system like the Precision. So again, dimensions, weight, some more pictures, some more pictures, some more pictures, etc., etc. A link to the support page. Let's go back up to the top. All right, so we decided this is the system we want. Add to cart. And then boom, it takes you to a page where it tries to sell you some more accessories again. There's that Microsoft 365, Office 365 Professional, or Office Professional 2021 Perpetual license. That McAfee stuff again. And then there's your warranty options. I'm going to skip that. You already know where this is going. It's going to take us to another page where it tries to sell you some more accessories. So let's skip that. Go to the cart, and we now have the option to purchase this machine. If we've reviewed all of the pages of accessories, made sure we got what we want, don't have what we don't need, and then sometimes it'll calculate a little discount. If you have a coupon, you could add that on this page. Obviously, we don't want to actually purchase this machine, so I'm going to go ahead and hit remove. And there are no items in your cart. Goodbye, Vostro. So I'm going to go on to some of the other machines that I wanted to talk about. We'll try to go a little bit faster on those. The next system is the OptiPlex, and that is their more standard business system for general purpose, for general business use. It's a lot more common than the Vostro, and you can see over here on the product line that right now they have 119 different models of OptiPlex available. So a lot more selection, a lot more choices, a lot more configuration options with this type of system. You can see with the OptiPlex, they even have one model that has an i9. So let's just kind of go down these options again. We've got the same processor options, i3, i5, i7. You also have the i9. This also has the option of 8th, 10th, or 11th generation Intel processors. Now, if you remember what I talked about before, 8th generation was 2017 to 2018. So I wouldn't really recommend that, but there are still a few of those systems available. A lot more memory options, 16, 32 gigabytes, more storage options. Pretty much everything has a solid state drive now. A little bit more graphics options. Same thing, Windows 10 Pro over here under operating system. Windows 11 is coming out now, and it's starting to reach some of these newer machines. If you buy a Windows 10 machine today, you will qualify for a free upgrade to Windows 11, assuming your machine meets those minimum requirements, which are things like 8th generation processor or newer. So you can sort by price if you have budget conscious issues. CD DVD drive, and then down here at the bottom is all of the different available models: 7090, 5090, 3080, 3090. There used to be a 9000 series, like you could get 9020s a few years ago, and the higher the number, the better the system is pretty much what that translates to. 5000, 7000 series is your general business use. 3000 is a little bit more lower spec type system. Back when they had the 9000 series, that was the more premium model. So as you can see, many pages of systems here. Let's just go up. Let's try to find a Dell OptiPlex. Let's get the one with the i9. That narrows us down to one single system. So that takes us to, that's actually an all-in-one system, an almost $2,000 all-in-one system. Not a big fan of the all-in-ones unless you're really worried about having desk space. You just, you think, if one piece breaks, the whole thing breaks. I'd rather have my monitor separate from my tower. Personal preference, obviously. Some people, you need that space on your desk. So we're looking again, back at the original page here. You can see small form factor, micro, tower size systems. Let's pick out an 11th gen. You can see that comes with the 5000 series and the 7000 series. I probably would avoid some of these smaller ones just because of lack of expansion options and how much heat they could potentially generate they don't have very much cooling inside of the smaller cases. So maybe let's pick this guy. Let's make sure we get something with a good amount of RAM, good amount of storage. You can see where I'm going with this. I'm going to go ahead and jump onto the next machine now, which I've already selected as the Dell Latitude 5520 laptop. So this is where we really start to get a lot more configuration options, where the options really open up. And you can see how I toggle some of these different options, how this affects the price over here. So this for me is a really fun page where we say, all right, well, we want the best processor we can get. So let's add that to the price. And then you can see how if you go back to one of the smaller, the i5, i3s, how that takes money off of your total value. But we're building a good system here. We want to pick the best stuff. So operating system, Windows 10 Pro includes Windows 11 included in price. Graphics card. Let's get the NVIDIA GeForce. We have two options here. So unlike a desktop where you can really change your graphics card out a lot, with a laptop, pretty much what's built in is what you get. So I kind of say, for things like your graphics and your processor, go with the good ones if you think you're going to need them. I mean, because a lot of times you can't upgrade them. Used to be you could upgrade the processor in a laptop. Now many laptops, the processor is soldered to the motherboard. Manufacturers have just found that as a way of saving weight on the system, and everybody wants their laptops thinner, lighter. So everything is getting attached directly to the motherboard. It's cost savings as well. I see a lot of Asus is really bad at this. They attach the memory is soldered right to the motherboard. So if you buy a laptop and 6 months later you're like, man, I need more memory. I just can't run the programs I want to run. I got 10 Chrome tabs open and the thing is slow as molasses. You can't do anything about it because the memory is not upgradable. So Dell laptops don't have that problem. You can still upgrade the memory on most Latitude series laptops. So if you wanted to save money, buy a little bit now, buy more later, you can do that. So memory, we're not playing around here though. We're going to build a good system. Let's max it out. 64 gigabytes of memory. You have Intel vPro manageability, more for work type things. It gives you some additional management options. Your IT support team would use this. Let's get it on there anyway. Let's see, we want a good amount of storage, hard drive. So you see class 35 and class 40 listed over here, 35, 40. There's also class 50 on some systems. It's basically a good, better, best type system. All of them are better than old spinning hard drives that you think of when you think of a hard drive. They're solid state, they use all chips. There's no spinning components to wear out. 40 is a pretty good one. Above that would be 50. Which there's no 50 option on this particular laptop. You can always buy one and put it in yourself later if you wanted to. So let's pick a 1 terabyte class 40 solid state drive. We don't need an additional hard drive. Yeah, maybe we could. Another $1,100. Display options, some great display options on here. You've got your option of a touch screen, a HD non-touch. I would avoid that one. Ultra HD. This is your 4K screen right here. So we actually buy a lot of these 5520s, and for software development, which is what most of our people are doing right now, we do the 4K screen. I give them the option: would you rather have a touch screen at 1920 by 1080 or a 4K screen, non-touch? And people generally prefer the 4K screen as opposed to the touch screen. So you can see some more screen options here. Keyboard, backlit keyboard, it's great, lights up when you touch it. You've got Intel Wi-Fi plus Bluetooth 5.1 or up to 5.2 for an extra $9.96. Sure, let's go with a little bit faster card. Mobile broadband, does it allow you to connect your laptop to a 4G cellular signal? So if you were traveling, outside of Wi-Fi coverage, you could use a 4G LTE. So you can see we've got some options here for AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile. And we want to get the good battery. Always pick the better battery option, I feel like. And the better power supply option here, we just change it from a 65 to 130 watt power adapter. Palm rest, no security. Anything time I see something that says no security, I get a little worried. It doesn't really mean much in this case, but I like to get the palm rest with the fingerprint reader. You can also get one with the contactless smart card reader or contactless smart card. Those are more like a government type thing. Most people don't have that type of card reader. No optical drive, really. It's 2021. Stop buying hard drive. Stop buying optical drives. Autopilot. Here's our Pro Support option. 3-year Pro Support. Next business day on-site warranty. Basic service. Extended battery service. Now that's one of the things I should mention is a lot of times the extended warranties, they don't cover your battery, and after a few years these batteries start to swell up, and that's the #1 killer of a lot of laptops now, is the batteries swelling up and damaging other internal components. It's just like your cell phone, anything that has these internal non-user replaceable batteries anymore. And of course you can replace it. It's just a lot harder now than it used to be. But something to watch out for is, if that battery starts to swell, it can damage other components. So with your laptop, usually a few screws, open it up, you can change it. There's plenty of videos on YouTube how to do that. Let's keep going. Software, same options as the Vostro. Microsoft 365, Office 2021 Professional, Adobe Acrobat, Foxit, Phantom PDF. You can see they're really throwing in some more business software options here. Office Professional, Access, Publisher, if you really need the more advanced software. Docking stations, WD-19 is a great dock. Plenty of videos on YouTube about that. That's a very fast Thunderbolt compatible docking station, which has multiple DisplayPort and HDMI outputs for connecting other office equipment. Scroll. You can see all of the ports, dimensions, the weight, more accessories. So you can see how all of these changes I made have been affecting this price up here. If we were to actually follow this through, you might get some special savings, discount codes, coupons. You can see even right here it says 35% off, use this code. If you buy a lot of Dell equipment, you may be able to get volume discounts. You may be able to work with a rep who can get you some additional discounts. We're not going to go that far on this. I'll say I don't pay that much for this type of system, but we obviously buy a lot of them. So we're going to go on to the next page. Last system we're going to look at is the Dell Precision 5820 Tower Workstation. These things are a beast. I've got a couple of them sitting right next to me here on a desktop to my side. They are gigantic. This pictures do not do justice for how big these machines are. Much bigger than a desktop Vostro or OptiPlex system. And if you are a power user, graphic design, heavy business application user, crunching databases all day long, this would be the type of system that you would want. I don't want to get too much into this here in this video, but I just wanted to show some of the options that, as you see, as we're getting from like the Vostro, where it was like you click on it, it's like, all right, pick your warranty, pick your accessories, you're done. This big thing, the Precision 5820, you've got 8 different processor options, from the base Xeon included in price, all the way up to this 18-core processor for an extra $1,020. And you can easily build this system to cost in the tens of thousands of dollars if you pick all of the options. Windows 10 Pro for workstations. That's the premium version of Windows 10 for systems that have this many cores. You can even get it with Red Hat, Ubuntu, some Linux-based operating systems. Your graphics card. Look at these graphics cards options. $4,500 for some of these. This is like your video editing workstation. If you're trying to run Pixar on your you make Pixar movies on your home computer. Dual video card options, AMD or NVIDIA options. Look at this video card down here, $11,200. So video card's crazy expensive right now because of the chip shortage. This should not be this much money, but supply and demand. Let's see. Now you can see some of the different options here, how much memory, DisplayPort connections on the video cards. So memory, system memory on this machine comes with 16, 128, 192, 256, 512 gigabytes. Sure, let's say 500 for $22,000. So at that point, we're just getting ridiculous here. Let's add a vPro for $14. Storage controllers, your RAID controller. If you were going to have 6 drives in here, and you wanted a RAID system where should 1 or 2 or 3 drives fail, the rest of the drives would continue to keep the system online. Enterprise series hard drives. Here's where you're going to start to see things like your Class 50 solid state drive, and you can see the difference that makes in price. Second storage drive, third storage drive, fourth storage drive, optical drives, and I'll tell you, the drives on the Precisions are really nice to have. They just pop out. It's almost like having a server on your desktop. That the drives are easily removable. Optical drive, fifth storage drive, sixth storage drive. It is a big machine, like I said. RAID option, slimline if you needed a DVD. Different types of solid state drives. So as I said, you can see over here on the right hand side how far down we are on this page, and just how many options these more powerful systems give you. Not really anything that your average home user is going to need, but for business machines, this is really great for speccing out a powerful business machine for your employees. Keyboard, mouse, remote workstation access card, network card. You can get, obviously built-in wireless. If you wanted to add a wireless AC card. I/O cards, DisplayPort cards, serial cards. All that money, and they want to charge you $2.98 for a resource disk, which is basically just like some documentation and drivers. Premiere Color, I don't even know what that is. I might have to Google that after I'm done recording here. Can you get the system painted? Pro Support, here's your 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, Pro Support Plus. 4-hour support. Again, very business focused on these type of machines. 4-hour support. Should something happen with this machine, they will come out within 4 hours to repair it for you. And your software options, same as the others, Microsoft 365, or a perpetual license for something like Office Professional 2021. Security, see how they default to no security software on this because they know that people are buying this kind of machine, don't want their McAfee junk. Now you do have more complex security options, VMware, Carbon Black, and monitor options. So here you can see some of the internals of the system, like you can see how the dual video cards would fit. So I think this video has gone on long enough. I appreciate anyone who's taken the time to watch it. I hope that you've learned something, or that I've helped you learn a little bit more about using the Dell website to spec out some custom systems. Hopefully these prices won't stay crazy high for so long, and in the next 12 to 18 months we should start to see them come back down once these supply chain issues get worked out. If you do have any questions about this video, feel free to ask them in the comments. I'll try to respond as quickly as I can. I really enjoy doing speccing and building systems. I've been doing it for quite a few years for a lot of different businesses. So I like to think I know what I'm talking about, but there's always a lot to learn still. I hope this video has been helpful to you. If it has, please like and subscribe to my channel. I hope to do a lot more different computer repair type videos. I also do car repair and other kind of training and tutorial videos. And have a great day and stay safe out there. Thank you.